Welcome to another episode of the Talking Shop podcast. I'm back in the house. I got to get these ratings back up out of the toilet. We're here to talk some shop. I'm Josh from Grand Slam. We got Michael from Medium Rare Cards. We got It's Cobb. We're here to talk WrestleMania 40. Oh, wait. No, we can't do that. Well, we might talk a little bit.
Here we can.
What's up, boys?
Not much. I'm sick as a dog. So if you want some ASMR of me and my cough drop, I can do that for you. But
we don't.
Probably, yeah.
Do you know where the saying "raining cats and dogs" comes from?
I do not. Why don't you tell us, Captain Random?
I don't know if this is factual, but long ago, before modern heating and early building of houses, they would thatch the roofs, and the only place for animals to keep warm would be to get up in the roof and kind of keep warm up there. And when it would rain really hard, it would get slippery, and the mice and things would fall from the ceiling. So when it rained really hard, it was raining cats and dogs. Literally, they would rain down. I don't know if that's true, but I've always wondered when I heard that expression where that came from. If that's not true and anyone knows the exact reason why, let me know. I learned that and many other useless facts in a big long Facebook post. It was like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. All these old sayings. Yeah. And the origination of where those things come from. So we should have a
pretty cool
facts. Those are pointless facts. Wait till the end. We'll have our crazy stats to blow your mind.
Jacob, get us back on track. Give us the rundown.
All right. So, kicking things off in the opening rip, we're going to recap Josh and Michael's spring breaks with a creative twist on historical figures as modern collectibles. Then in hobby news, we're going to break down the latest GemRate numbers because that's what Michael always wants to do, apparently, where we see PSA with a headlock on number 1. Did the announcement of Collects Universe of SGC have an effect? And the plot thickens with eBay's rumored acquisition of Goldin Auctions. And what could this mean for the future of card auctions? Then we're going to catch up on some hits from the shop since we had no idea what was actually hitting the shop last week because Josh was gone. And then we're going to get into his crazy stat of the week, get into the surprising cost of feeding a family at the Masters compared to a day out at the World Series. Let's get into
the day of feeding my family. How about that?
No kidding.
You don't want to know.
Well, Josh, in the pregame, you said that you went to Pigeon Forge, one of our favorite places is his family. Jacob, you said that you like going there. I was in the Atlanta area, and we went to Medieval Times.
Did you? Oh, you probably didn't see my pictures then. We were at the pirate dinner show. You know where they do. Have you been to that one yet?
I have not. But I'm sure it's similar.
Pirates Voyage at the beach?
Pirates Voyage. Well, they probably have it at the beach too. This is in Pigeon Forge in the mountains. They've got it, but
yeah.
You
have your choice of like Pirates Voyage, and then there's like the Hatfield and McCoy show,
Dixie Stampede.
Yeah. So, but it was cool. Have either one of you guys, and let us know in the chat if you guys have ever been to Medieval Times. Have you guys been to Medieval Times?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The only thing that I had to compare it with was I went as a teenager and barely remember it since that was like a million years ago. But what I do remember is our waiter had just mailed it in for the day. He was done. He was like, didn't have the British accent. He was just like, welcome to Medieval Times. I am your waiter. Just monotone. And so I was like, the bar was really low, but Susan and the kids loved it. Totally forgot it was more of sort of like a horse show, which is amazing because I can't even train my dog to do anything. I can't even imagine training a horse to do anything. So it was it was awesome. But we are a card podcast, but wanted to take your take on what sort of historical figure from back then would you like to see a card of? Now, I know, Josh, you've had like the DNA card.
I was about to bring those up.
Yeah. But what sort of do you guys like that era of time? Does that sort of check any boxes for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Like the King Arthur stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Once more with conviction there, Josh.
I'm trying to think of anyone other than King Arthur that I know from that era.
Lancelot?
I just love history.
I'd love like an entire set of every character from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I don't think that works.
Well, a lot of people probably don't know that that historic DNA product that we had on the shelves had little pieces of hair and things from actual historical figures, and Napoleon was one of them that we had in the case. So there was a piece of Napoleon's hair in the showcase. There was a piece of Abe Lincoln's hair. We had trying to think of some of the big ones, JFK and Jackie Kennedy, dual hair relic. I think the best one we pulled that sold for the most was do you remember Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, I think? It was like a triple hair piece of those guys. And to me, that's 10 times more cooler than a patch card. Because I remember standing back, looking at the showcase, thinking 10 feet over there, and that showcase is literally a piece of Abraham Lincoln.
I'm just imagining the John Wilkes Booth card, and the inscription is "Got him."
Have you heard the when you shoot, people go Kobe? You know, they shoot their trash at the thing. Right. The John Wilkes Booth, and people are like, "What?" It's like he doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss. Well, I'd love to see like somebody do a spin off of some cards. And I know that sort of, I think Magic has done this, right? With some historical figures, or no? Has it that just been like IP, or does Magic have like a Merlin card or a King Arthur card or Excalibur or anything like that?
I don't believe yet, because they've been starting to do some blended stuff. And so maybe you'll see that, but everything they've done so far that's not been blended in the past year is just their own creation, from their own lore.
Well,
but my hardest part about going to medieval times is not constantly quoting cable guy lines, because Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick go to medieval times, and there is like 100 Jim Carrey quotable lines. In fact, I used one with our waitress, because if you remember in that movie, she's pouring him the drink, and she says, there are no spoons or forks in medieval times, so there are no spoons or forks at medieval times. Would you like a refill of your Pepsi? And Matthew Broderick says, there were no spoons or forks, but there was Pepsi. And she's like, look, dude, I got a lot of tables. It reminds me of your waiter.
Oh, yeah.
Look, dude, come on. I got a lot of tables. Great, super underrated movie. Cable guy, Jim Carrey.
We are going to do it one day, Josh. We've been threatening to do a movie podcast. We should just go ahead and
Jack Black's in that movie. Way underrated.
I totally forgot about that.
He was in there?
Oh yeah, he had a nice little part in that. Yeah. Remember when Jim Carrey runs and ruins their basketball pickup game, and he dunks and breaks the rim, jumps off the dude's back, breaks the rim, and then at the end he's like, "Thanks for the boost," and Jack Black's like, "Thanks, dude, you ruined our game."
Jacob, what you should do is, while Josh is going over new releases, you should find a clip of that and see if we can get pinched by YouTube.
Oh, dude, just YouTube medieval times Jim Carrey. You'll find a good one. And don't do the where they're fighting. Do the one where they're like sitting in the stands talking to the employee.
Well, while he's looking for that, Josh, what's coming to
Yes.
the shop this week?
Well, let's recap last week because I still have. So Leaf Vivid Baseball came out last week, and I still got a good bit of it because it sold so well last year. I bought a ton of it for this year. So got plenty of that product on the shelf. I am trying to get the time to do. So every card in that product, the product has 7 cards, 2 base cards, 5 autos. Every card is numbered to 10 or less. So I'm like, this is perfect. Let's do a break with 10 spots. You get the cards that are numbered to 10, you get the ones numbered to 2, blah, blah, blah. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to put like maybe a 5 or 6 boxer of that together.
Sweet.
But that hit Revolution Basketball hit last week, and Immaculate Pro Football for the big boys, and I still have that as well. This week it's light. The biggest release is Heritage Baseball. So this is 2024 Heritage Baseball. It's got the throwback to like the 1975 tops. Let me be 100%.
1975.
1975 tops. Thank you, Jacob, throwing up the little preview. This chase card is in that product. Have you heard? And if you're just listening, this is Juan Soto's red auto. Has an inscription that says "My first Yankees auto." So that his first Yankees auto is in this product, and it's inscribed "My first Yankees auto," and it's going to be worth a ton. Is there a bounty on this card? Do you know? Have you heard?
I have not heard about a bounty yet, but Topps Fanatics continues to spice up what would normally be sort of just your lower end product. Now they've made it a chase. I haven't seen the checklist. It'd be interesting to see if Otani has a card in there.
You can bet on it.
Right, but it would have been his first Dodgers auto
I
as
was
well.
just making a joke.
Oh, you
Unless-
can bet on it. Over my head. Like I'm literally over my head. That was fantastic, Jacob.
Oh, now I get it, Jacob. You
just threw one over the old men's heads.
There's
my
no bounty.
my Cubbies took 2 out of 3 against them Dodgers. Just saying.
Cubs are going to be pretty good this year.
Otani did hit 2 home runs against us, but I'm looking at Heritage on Cardboard Connection really quick, and let's see if there is no set checklist yet.
Yeah.
Remember I was talking about Leaf Vivid. Otani has an autograph in that product, and if my information is correct, it's only a triple auto, and it's with Matsui and Ichiro. Wouldn't that be cool? Otani, Ichiro, and Matsui all on a Leaf Vivid auto. I don't know what it's number 2. We were kind of wondering that ourselves. But and then I don't know if apparently Juan Soto doesn't have a Yankees auto in Big League because that came out a week or 2 ago.
Right.
So unless Otani has a Dodger auto in that product, this could be his first Dodger auto as well.
We'll see. But I love the fact that they're doing this. You said in previous episodes that you're a fan of these inscriptions. Makes them ultra. Number one, it makes them ultra collectible.
Right.
And I was just about to say it, but I mean, I guess it would cut down on the counterfeits, right? It would cut down on some of that. Like if there was a counterfeit card.
Yeah.
Because they'd advertise the heck out of the inscriptions. So
show Jacob, throw that back up on there, the Juan Soto. Is it hand numbered on the front or the back?
It's not
probably the back then. So the checklist says real one autographs, one of the most iconic autographs out there. Look for a mix of retired and current players. The real one special edition autographs are hand numbered to 75 and signed in red ink. So that would be that. So when you inscribe one of these, you get the auto number to 75. So there's 75 of this red ink auto, but that makes that one a 1 of 1, which is
it'll either probably be the alpha, the 1 out of 75, or probably his jersey number. Wouldn't you think?
Well, it would have to be the 1 because if it's the jersey number, then that's not his first Yankees auto.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna blame it on the cough medicine.
Although
that made
if he's
sense
got
what you were saying.
Although if he's got all 75 laid out in front of him, he could go right to his jersey number it and autograph it, and that could be his first. So we'll find
Maybe.
out when it's pulled by a big breaker and not a local hobby. Because you all know my opinion of big breakers. I hate them. But I
Don't
hate
hold
them.
don't hold
and
back,
they're really
Josh.
hobby.
There's no sense in sugarcoating your opinion on this. Don't hold back.
I didn't hold back last week, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
All right. Jacob, a word from our sponsor.
Oh, yeah, let's get to it.
We have a sponsor.
Are you looking to get your cards graded? Well, here at Grand Slam, we've simplified the process of submitting and getting a card graded. All you have to do is drop off your cards and kick your feet up, while our transparent tracking ensures that you are up to date with every detail along the way. When you log into our website, you'll immediately be greeted with each card in the grading process, along with where it's at in the process and its final grade. And with over 1,000 submissions and some of the top cards across the country being submitted through us, we have become a well-trusted source to handle and submit your cards. So you can do more collecting and leave the chore of grading to us. So don't sit on grading your cards. Get them submitted today at Grand Slam, where grading's made easy.
All right. Thank you, me, for sponsoring.
Hey, Jacob, before we jump into this GemRate stuff, this shows how casual of a fan. I'm not even a fan. Just my lack of wrestling knowledge. We got to talk about it. You guys are both wrestling guys. Can you pull up the photo that I threw in the group chat? Because I was like, number one, you're like, does a bear crap in the woods whether or not we watched WrestleMania. And I was like, I don't know. You guys have said don't say anything. I'm recording whatever, so don't spoil. I didn't want to spoil it. But pull up this photo. Did this really happen? And did you guys watch it? And what did you guys?
You got to watch Mania live. There's no other way to.
I don't know the rules of engagement on this stuff.
Oh, it's
so.
high.
So I'll have to admit, I watched night 1 live.
Wait a minute, hold on, full stop. Night 1. This is a multiple night thing.
It's 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday.
Now.
Can you just buy the second night, or do you buy the whole package?
Oh, it's on Peacock, baby.
Yeah, you just subscribe to Peacock and you get to watch.
Oh, this isn't
live.
a pay-per-view.
Oh, it is. But it's included.
They don't call them
Peacock's
pay-per-views. They call them PLEs, premium live events. Because
I'm so old.
Are school. But yes, this was night 1. So I watched this live. Night 2, I started watching live. I got Rollins and McIntyre. I got all the way through that. And then Jacob will get offended here. But the women's matches, I'm like, barf me. So and my wife had just gotten back in town, and we had, American Idol was ready to watch on Hulu. And so I said, I'm going to go spend time with her and watch American Idol. And so I had to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb because I had people texting me, and I had to put a couple feelers out there and say, do not text me anything. I'm going to watch it later. My kids were upstairs watching it. And I said, do not tell me a thing. And my son texts me. He's like, and he's talking about the very end of the main event at the end. And he's like, this is so good. I'm almost crying. And I'm like, stop talking about it. So it was good. I said mid. It's better. It was better than mid, but not much better. And I have my other reasons. We'll talk about that one day on our wrestling podcast. But
right after our movie podcast.
So Michael probably doesn't know, in this match with Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson that's pictured, they came out at the end of the match wearing the luchador masks and helped Rey Mysterio and the good guys win. And everyone's like, who are these 2 big dudes? And then they finally rip off the masks after they've won and reveal who they are, then rip off their shirts and make us wish we weren't watching. But Jacob, your thoughts since you're
Yeah.
Well, just a little catch up. Michael, it's not just a one night thing now. There was SmackDown on Friday, followed by the Hall of Fame going from about 10 o'clock to midnight. Then there was the NXT pay-per-view, which is their developmental, at noon on Saturday. And then it was night 1 at 5 o'clock onward. And then night 2 was yesterday.
and
you know,
the Raw after WrestleMania is tonight, and that's typically one of the bigger Monday Night Raws of the year. So I'm holding out that MJF makes his appearance in this new era, Jacob.
Oh, you're not the only one.
okay,
But-
so don't.
so
I'm
I
getting
knew
acronym to
that-
death. Who's MJF?
Oh,
Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's better than you, and you know it.
so I knew that Jason Kelsey was going to show up probably like Wednesday or Thursday. And then when I saw the other guy, I was like, oh, that's his brother. Because I don't know who Lane Johnson is. I'll be honest.
I don't know who Lane Johnson is.
So there you go.
Does Jason Kelsey know who Lane Johnson is? So I do know this. This is. They had a chance to do it 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row now. Prism WWE released on WrestleMania weekend, right? 2 years in a row. They
It
didn't
was-
do it this year.
It was impeccable this year.
Ah, they leveled up.
And it was Prism the last 2 years.
Right. So they leveled up. They went impeccable.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Does Panini obviously has the license for WWE, yes?
Yes.
And so would they do do they do Panini Instants
Yes.
for this? Are they going
Usually
to
for big matches when someone finally wins a championship, debuts, stuff like that.
is this something that you think would be sort of something that would have any sort of crossover appeal?
Maybe because they recently, Josh, you know more than I do. They recently did a dual auto with Undertaker and somebody football related.
Hmm.
And I cannot remember who it is.
Do you remember what correlation the two had?
Not at all. Let me look it up.
You call yourself a fan.
Maybe Undertaker and Otani, since Otani's career is now dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Just kidding. He'll be fine.
wow.
I did predict a down year from Otani, so
You didn't
I
predict
wouldn't say
that.
I'm right yet, but he's
Oh, here we
started
go.
off a little slow.
This is
All
what
right.
it was.
Jacob's got it. So Undertaker and Quinn Ewers.
Viewers.
So
Okay.
there has to be probably a city.
Texas.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would think Stone Cold would be a better one for that, the Texas Rattlesnake. But if you're watching and you know the correlation between these two, I mean, where's Mark Calloway from? Is he from
Texas.
Texas? Is he?
Who's Mark Calloway?
Taker.
That's the Undertaker.
Oh.
You didn't think his real name was the Undertaker, did you? Like Mama
That'd be pretty cool.
Undertaker?
I don't
Undertaker
know.
comes to-
Maybe.
He's not
Anyway,
really
back
from
to
Death
the-
Valley either.
back to cards. All right, back to cards. So do you guys think you're jumping the gun here, Jacob? Do you guys think there's going to be any sort of crossover appeal from football fans to this event if there's a card? Like
If you're a wrestling fan from Philadelphia, probably.
yeah, I would think so.
Or if you're at the event.
I noticed on your GemRate list there that SGC was like double their normal, right? Is that right?
Just glossed over. Yeah, let's just move on to the the next segment.
Yeah, these guys don't care
No-
about WWE cards.
Not quite double.
Yeah, okay. That seems strong. So we had noticed our last batch of SGC cards took an abnormally long time. Like
SGC.
SGC took an
Interesting.
abnormally long time. Not like PSA long, but not like SGC quick. So I know
A long time for
one of the guys
SGC.
at the shop said that there was maybe a special that they ran that bumped their numbers and slowed some things down, but I don't know how true that is. I think it is true, but PSA is still cranking over $1 billion.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of specials around baseball products. They had a special on Bowman. I don't know if they had a Top Series 1 special, but certainly they've hit capacity as far as that 5 to 10 day turnaround. Like, what are you talking? Like maybe 2 weeks now? 3 weeks?
Well, the last batch was probably at least 3 weeks, if not a month. And so you don't get periodic updates from them like you do with PSA, and it's typically because their turnaround time is fast enough. You don't need monthly updates, But
yeah,
we were starting to kind of question like what's taking so long with this batch of cards, but then they showed up.
I wonder, because the announcement was made last month, I wonder if we're going to start seeing SGC dip a little bit, knowing that Collectors Universe acquired them.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It'll be interesting to see if SGC has as big of a presence at the National as they did last year. I mean, we're what, 3 months from the National now? So
I wonder if you're one of these people that don't fit in this category, the people that use SGC use them because A, they like the look of the slabs better than PSA or some of the others, and the faster turnaround time, because there's not a huge price difference until you get into like the expensive cards.
Yeah. Or their seething hate for PSA.
Right. Which I have, but I still
talked about that last week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost funny. I tell people in the store I hate PSA, but I mean I send all my cards there, but I hate them.
Yeah.
But
and did you guys see the news from Beckett?
Refresh me.
Which is non-news. So remember last year they were kicking around the whole their grading scale.
Yeah.
And they were gonna change. They were gonna go to a 10 as their gem mint and blah blah blah. Well, it took them a year to do this, but they announced that they're not changing anything.
Good for them to recognize the writing on the wall, or to read the room.
Yeah, it took them a year to read the room. I mean, what are they doing?
Some people longer.
Yeah, or they just don't read it or don't
exactly.
care.
They don't care. They don't care.
Speaking of graded cards, did we talk about this in the past? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there is a PSA 10 Thurman Munson rookie card in existence. I'm pretty confident. I would almost put money on it.
Where is that coming from? I would tend to agree.
I mean, fact check me. I'm sure it's right. But could you imagine how much that card would be worth if you could get 1 to 10? It's that black border year.
Oh yeah, 1974. No, 1972, I think.
It's not 72. I'm gonna find out.
Because Topps Heritage had that look a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it's not
maybe 1970. 71.
We're gonna be. Is it 70?
I'm just gonna keep saying numbers. Eventually, I'll get it.
It's 70. So, yeah, people are like, shame on you for not knowing that off the top of your head. But, yeah, I don't think Thurman Munson's rookie card is that year, and there's 0 pop count for the PSA 10. Could you imagine what? I would love people's thoughts on what they think that card would be worth if you could get that card to 10.
Oh yeah, especially if it hadn't been graded. Like if it's sitting in a binder for, I don't know, 54 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's most likely still sealed in a pack somewhere if you got any shot at it. No. Oh wait, here it is. 71. See, shame on us. The 71, because he's got a dual rookie with another player in 70.
Right. Is this it's almost like an action shot, right?
Yeah, it's a sideways card. So now I don't know if it's the 71 that there's no PSA 10 of. A PSA 8 brought $5,600. It's got to be that card then. That's so hard.
How did we get on Thurman Munson?
Huh?
How did we get here? How did we get on Thurman Munson?
It was a random thought he had.
There's not a graded 71 Thurman Munson. It's like one of those few rare cards that there's just not a 10 of. PSA 10.
I wonder if there's like a this would probably be in the old SGC case. I wonder if there's like an SGC 98 or whatever of that card.
We gotta find it. We gotta crack it. We gotta get PSA to grade it at 10.
Send it in.
How do you pop report? Okay, we can move on to something else while I look this up.
Jacob,
I had this all locked and loaded 1 week to talk about.
Keep us reined in. Jacob, what's our next story other than GemRate?
All right. Our next story is eBay's rumored acquisition of Goldin.
I want to hear what you guys think about this because I've certainly.
I would be fine if they buy Goldin and fire Ken and we never have to see his goofy butt again. I'm like, every time I see this guy, I'm like, how on earth did the stars align to where this guy is king of this crap? He's an idiot. But you told me not to, you told me to hold back, so I'm being nice today.
Okay. He's been around for a long time. He's
just
maybe
he comes across as a
maybe I should give
Jeff Bezos.
Huh?
Say that again.
He comes across as a poor man's Jeff Bezos. Just kind of
Well,
goofy, not sure how he got there.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Bezos, as much as he's probably an idiot too, I mean, he probably has a pretty cool story. You know, you see those old, you know, it took a creative mind to say, I'm gonna go after books. So I mean, I give him props for doing that. What did Ken Goldin do? And if he was like revolutionary back in the day for this vision of what he has now, then I'll give him props. I just see him and I see this goofy guy with cool stuff that he shouldn't have, but that's just because I'm jealous.
Good tell.
Is that okay to say that? I mean, I'll at least admit it's because I'm jealous.
Well, I mean, what's the play here? I don't. To me, I don't see the point of it. Like, it's Goldin does a fraction of the business that eBay does. Now, I don't know if eBay, how much of the high-end stuff that eBay lost. I just don't see the point.
Maybe eBay wants to venture down that high-end path. And you need the reputation that Goldin has, because their reputation's good from what I know.
Yeah, I just think eBay needs to stay in their lane. I mean, it's just Goldin's got a niche, right? Like Goldin, Heritage, these other, you know, I don't know if Goldin and Sotheby's or Christie's Great Estates will ever be said in the same sentence, but that's what they're trying to play. Like, you know, they want to be in those waters. I just don't. eBay is like your everyday for the everyday man. It's I don't think it's for like the ultra high end.
But you know where eBay has probably a really hard time operating is in the high end stuff, because I would say I wouldn't buy anything super high end off eBay if my life depended on it. But I would off Goldin's auction site for sure. They have that reputation. I'm trashing Ken, but they have an awesome reputation. So
eBay in the past couple of years has gotten really bad about buyers not paying, which you don't have that issue because Goldin takes your payment up front, don't they? If you're placing
you also have to. Is it Goldin that you have to show your net worth and sort of bank statement? You have to be like a qualified buyer, or is that PWCC?
It's not eBay.
I would
for
probably
sure.
think it's Goldin, but I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, I just don't play in these waters. And so maybe that's why it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just I just don't know why eBay has got all the eyeballs. I don't know why they're making this play. And
Well,
for
their
me, not
eBay
to-
Live didn't work out. So
okay,
maybe this
there it
their new
is.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I was about to mention that I was chilling the other day, and a thing pops up because I follow one of the sellers I follow on eBay, or our store eBay account follows. It might be Goldin, or it might be one of these other um, big eBay stores, big box seller, and it said so and so is live on eBay right now. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that's a platform we should play in, because we have a lot of items on eBay. We have a ton of items in the store we could do that with. So I just threw that out there, like maybe we should play in that eBay live waters. You know what I mean?
Is it because of your seething hatred of whatnot?
That's probably the most of it. Yes.
There's a lot of hatred
And-
going around today.
Lots of hate. Josh hates a lot of things.
I do. But let's pivot back over to the pop report. Check this out. This could be even our crazy stat of the week, but there are Thurman Munson all-star rookies out of that 71 tops. There are a total of 3,800 cards graded, 3,859. There are no 1.5s, which, this is PSA, so they don't do a whole lot of that. But there are 0 PSA 10s and only 5 PSA 9s out of almost 4,000 cards. 5 or 9s, 0 10s.
And I'm guessing that's the key rookie in that set. Otherwise, right? I'm not a vintage guy, so I'm guessing that's the rookie.
Yeah, because you could say, well, card number 3 or 4 is Vic Devalilo, and he doesn't have a PSA 10 either. So there's only in that whole set, out of 316,000 graded cards from 71 tops, there is only 245 10s. And they belong, the card with the most 10s. It's like 1 here, 1 here, 2 here for Bill Mazeroski.
Okay.
1 here, 1 here. I'm just scrolling. 2 for the checklist, one of the checklists. This stuff fascinates me when there's that. Phillies team card has 4 PSA 10s from that year. 2 for Dick Such, Jerry McNerdy. I bet he didn't get made fun of as a kid.
Not at all.
McNerdy. Come on, McNerdy. You want to go play baseball?
Him and McFly.
So, 316,000 cards from that set have been graded. And the Thurman would probably be the best.
Yeah.
And there's no 10s. You could name your price almost with that card if you had a 10.
I wonder.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I wonder if they're going to talk about 2024 tops Series 1 like that in 50 years.
Or, well, they're going to talk about what 2021 Heritage, because it's that same look.
The same thing.
Whatever year they did. But
yeah.
Well, except with these, because those old vintage cards have centering issues all the time. So
yeah,
probably didn't have that with this year's stuff.
Certainly the production value coming out of factories now is way better. The paper's better, the machines are better, but still.
But the
super
print runs.
Interesting. Yeah, the print runs is going to be the issue there.
I would love to know if anyone knows this, other sets like that or other cards that are notable cards that most people in the hobby know about, that there's no PSA 10. I would love to know that. That intrigues me. It's almost like finding that unicorn.
Well, the modern day version of that, isn't that the Mahomes rookie? Because there's a dimple It's either Mahomes or Luka.
Yeah, but there's still a ton of that card.
Ton of them. Okay.
Well, and I'm going to tell you exactly. We can move on to the next one if you want, but yeah, there's a ton of 9s in that. That Mahomes Prism rookie, but yeah, let's see how many 10s there are. There it is. So, and that entire 2017 Prism, oh, that's basketball, darn it. Hold on. Prism
I bet
football.
there's no Patrick Mahomes silver basketball.
Name your price on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely none. So out of 2017 Prism football, there have been 37,000 cards graded, almost 38,000. We're going to go to Patty Mahomes.
Well, while Josh pulls that up, Michael, what did you do over the weekend?
What did I do?
Yeah, Mike got some
Would you
cards.
like to explain yourself
I went to Medieval
here?
Times, and then oh boy,
Who is that guy? Where is he at?
Speaking of total tools, not Michael, but the owner of that store.
Oh God.
Speaking of hatred,
I know the hate is just spewing out of the middle square here. Yeah, I after Medieval Times, the next day,
what a day!
I know the next day I saw it was a good weekend. I saw that we were only about 30 minutes away from Cards HQ, which is Jeff Wilson's new card shop in Atlanta, on the outskirts of Atlanta. So I'm going to rifle through some of these photos.
The pictures. I had a question, and you told me to save it for the podcast.
Okay.
Is it
get off of this? Can we get off of this picture? That'd be great.
No, we're gonna stay on this picture.
We need to put your superhero picture that your wife
is
made.
Is it more like quality centric, or is it more so like focused on the visual aspect of a card shop, or does like the contents of what they're selling like back up the big name behind it?
Or give us the strengths and the weaknesses in your eyes of that card shop.
Well,
focus on the weaknesses.
The weaknesses is that it is too far away from us here, because I think a card shop like this would bring a lot of traffic to other card shops. I really do think this is good for the hobby. So this right here is just sort of a long view of the shop. So just a shotgun over. So you got the sitting area. That area on the far end is it looks like a poker table, and it's exactly what it is, but it's a breaker's pavilion, to where if you want to record yourself breaking a box, you could sit there, and people who want to watch you can watch from those steps and watch you break a box, watching the monitors behind you.
Hold on, but I'm hearing a lot about what it has to offer, but not so much like those showcases. If we go back to that photo, there's not much showcases. It's a lot more of a dream man cave.
No, these vertical showcases are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Now,
there's that breaker place you were talking about.
What's that, Josh?
Was there a lot of them though? Like,
they don't have any they don't have any traditional showcases on the floor, like the showcases in
right. Well,
everyday
that's just
card.
the style.
What's that?
That's just the style. They've gone with all verticals. So that's, I mean, do they have like $20 cards, or is everything like going into a museum for the rich to buy?
No. Actually, like if you pull up one of those videos, Jacob, I think it's the soccer cards. Obviously, I looked at what soccer cards they had. It's sort of like the grocery store, right? You're going to have your expensive cereal eye level, and then you get down to the less expensive cereal near the floor. So, and you know, obviously they skew towards modern, so a lot more modern. They had a couple vintage. They skew towards basketball and football, although they had plenty of baseball. So these are their whatnot stations for live breaks. There they had 3 of those, so they could be running 3 live breaks at the same time. Keep going.
I was gonna pull up the videos, but it will not let me for whatever reason.
It's okay.
Then there's let's pull up the card kids area.
Yeah, so you're going to see this shorter tables built for kids, and so they've thought of a lot of things with this, and it's enormous. It's big. So any of the horizontal showcases, these are the type of showcases you're going to see in most card shops. They stuff them full of sealed wax. So if you go to the next one, Jacob.
That's where all the product is.
I was just about to chime in on that. Can you go to the next one? I think it's the next one. So I was wondering where, if you look in the middle of that showcase, right there, the top one, yeah, that's where all the Topps Chrome Galaxy in the universe is. No pun intended. He's got boxes and boxes of Topps Chrome Galaxy, which is one of my favorite products. I think because of where he's at, he's probably a little high on his prices, but that's an expensive place to be.
Yeah, and there's going to be people in there that aren't price checking. They want to buy it because they want to buy it from that shop. They set aside X amount of dollars to go to Cards HQ and buy some wax and rip it for the experience or whatever. So he could probably get a premium, but I feel sorry for the other card shops in Atlanta. I know you think it's going to help bring card buyers. It's going to bring card people to that area, and the majority is going to spend it there, which is going to hurt the other card shops.
It will, but I tell you what, I've been in some bad shops. Bad. Like to where they don't have the attention to customer service that you and your team does, Josh. And
sure.
These types of shops, and shops like yourself that focus on customer service, they're gonna squash the old school shops to where there's a dude behind the table that never looks up and wants you to be confused and and sort of gatekeeping the hobby from people that want to get in.
Yeah, I think that originates from card shop owners that owned a shop as just like their card office away from home, away from the wife, and it's their little toy box. And if customers come in and buy, that's okay. But it's for their buddies to hang out with and for them to open cards. And most of them are retired and had money. And, I've always, when I've gone into card shops when I was younger, it was always that way. The older guy, that doesn't really care to give you much attention if you buy something great, but he's not there to service the customer to keep a business open. He's there to pay the bills and have a spot to house all of his cards and get to open at wholesale price by having a brick and mortar shop. So not everyone by any means, and that's a very generalization, but you just hear about all the crotchety old card shop owners back in the day that were rude, and it's a different time now. You need to be.
It is, and I tell you, there were no crotchety old salespeople running that shop on Sunday morning. Nope. There was nobody. If I had ventured to get, there was nobody over 30 running that shop.
Yeah,
on Sunday. So certainly catering towards the younger collector.
Yeah, most people over 30 need more than what a card shop counter employee makes to make a living. So that's part of it. But
yeah,
I'm sure they're getting paid $20 an hour to stand behind the counter and clerk cards and talk shop, which is fine. That's great. And Ed is joining us in the chat. What's up, Ed? I'm guessing he's the one that says Josh is going in today. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. I'm tired and I'm cranky.
It's been a long week. It's Monday.
What is this I'm hearing about the price of food at the Masters?
Well, hold on. Before we do that, let's do cards from the shop, or hits from the vault.
Oh,
We do. Josh had a couple of the
don't-
guy that he collects.
I don't have much to show. I bought these 2 cards today off of a customer. They are nothing special, but if you know me, if these come through the door, I'm going to buy them and I'm going to case them up and I'm going to throw them into the vault at the house. But these are really nice.
Those do look clean.
I told you they look really clean. I don't think they'll get 10s, but I think they would grade really well. And it's a low end $50 to $80 Brady rookie. But a Brady rookie is a Brady rookie. That's my motto. So that's all I have to show today. Wait, I can show one more card that I bought. Definitely outside of my area of expertise, but when these come through the door, we buy them. We never don't try to buy this card. One of the original base set Charizards.
Wow.
So nothing super fancy about it. It's in average condition. It's not shadowless or anything crazy, but so a little boring hits from the shop. I didn't have hits queued up from customers, and I don't have anything else that we've purchased that's super cool handy, but I did get those 3 cards recently.
Drop some education on us, Josh. What would that card go for raw, and what if it got like an 8? What would that card
So these are like vintage cards in the sense of the price is going to fluctuate big time based on condition.
Right.
And so it may be hard to see in the photo or in the video, but if it'll focus, it's got some
edgeware,
some edgeware, and I don't think that's a crease. No, a little scratching and issues. So I think that makes this one maybe $150. But
now 120.
Okay, so if you go and get, I mean, if it grades well, it's worth a lot. So it starts jumping pretty noticeable. You get into some high grades.
Does it have the stamp? Is it first edition?
No, not first edition.
Oh,
That'd be a lot more, right?
oh, that's why I was wanted to clarify that.
Then I would have just admitted we ripped a customer off, and I can't do that. So,
Well, guys, if you guys have made it this far into the episode, thank you. Leave us a like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. Let us know how we're doing, and if you want to hear more of this. And now Josh is going to continue to interrupt me. Go ahead.
So I have our answer. Look, Michael, I can do this to you at any time, buddy.
Hey,
You disappear. Oh, sorry. Let me move you back here. I pulled up the Prism pop report for Mahomes. I want y'all to guess. So I'm going to tell you the base Prism, which was a silver. All the Prism rookies from Mahomes rookie years were silver. So graded totally 5,237 of his rookie card is graded.
Okay.
Out of those 5,200 cards, what is your guess on the PSA 10?
350.
I'm going to go, what's 10% of that?
That's
No,
That would be
5% of that.
520. 10% would be 520.
Yeah, I'm going half of that. I'm going 2%, 2.5%. So
Wow, that's a fourth of 10%. So that's not a half.
to carry the
5
one.
would be yeah. Kick your shoes off and start using your toes. You would both be surprised to know that there are 942 10s of that card. How many PSA 1s do you think there are?
40.
Jacob just put a very racist comment in our.
No, I did not.
I resemble that remark.
We just canceled him. Ed says 152. Someone says, isn't a one a thing now? That's so. I think there. So just to answer the question, there is only one PSA 1 of that card. There is one PSA 2. There is one PSA 3. There is two PSA 4s, and then it starts to get a little noticeable. It makes me wonder. I know a friend that does this with original Charizards. The rainbow.
PSA rainbow.
Bet you one guy has that rainbow, which is where that 1 and the 2 came from.
That's cool.
But the hardest thing about
you think he's dinging up that card on purpose?
Well, we've always talked about that. Like, how hard is that to know how much damage you have to do to a card to make it a 1? Wait, no, that part's easy. It's to make it a 2.
A 2.
Because you can just crumple it up, you're going to get a 1.
Yep.
How do you get a 2? Because you got to damage it enough that it's not a 1, but you damage it too much, then you're toast because you just ruined a card and you don't get your 2.
Well, we'll wait for grading fees to drop to $5 and we'll see. We'll just pick a random card.
We're going to test it.
That's right. We're going to test it out.
All right. Now I'll stop interrupting you. We can end with my crazy stat.
Hey, I've got a crazy stat.
You do?
I do. So,
well, you saw mine. Is yours crazier than mine? Because we could do mine first if it's not as crazy.
Well, you do yours first. I'm going to do mine because it's Masters Week.
Jacob, throw mine up on the board. We're bringing Brady
I'll do a
back.
wrestling one afterwards. How's that sound?
Oh, why don't you do it first if you have it queued up?
Oh, no, it's as of this past weekend, Roman Reigns has main evented more than anybody else in history, sitting at 9 WrestleMania main events.
I'll be devil's advocate here. It's a little not fair because they didn't used to do 2 nights. Although this is probably the first one where he did both nights, right?
Yeah. This is the first time they've had 3 people do double duty.
They just can't get anybody to do this stuff.
Which is insane when one of them was already banged up. One is a part-timer and the other one wrestles every single week.
I thought 100% for sure that instead of Mr. Calloway, I'll just talk in code for generic wrestling fans. Instead of him showing up, I thought Stone Cold would for sure be the man.
That's what everybody was saying.
Yeah. All right, let's do my stat.
All right.
Mine's a Brady stat. You divide Brady's career in 2. We've talked about dividing his career up, but his first 162 games, look at his record, 125 and 37. And then his last 162 games, 1 game from being identical, 124 and 38. That, my friends, is the GOAT of all GOATs.
Either way you cut it,
he's no Tony Gwynn, but that's a pretty nice stat.
All right, throw up. I think I posted the photo. I did the quick math. If you went to the Braves game, and I said if you got a sandwich and chips and a drink for my family of 8, it would cost $148. At the Masters, this is real time. The Masters menu has not changed in 50 years. You can get that same meal at the Masters this week for $31.50.
That's insane.
That is pretty crazy. When you threw this up there, I was like, dude, why are you complaining about the prices? This seems really reasonable.
It is fantastic. If you guys have never been to the Masters, it's a bucket list thing, even if you're not a golf fan. If you're not a golf fan, you definitely just need to go on a practice round and not the real thing. Because
they got to get you somewhere else to keep those prices.
No, they just don't care. I mean, there was several years ago to where they had this big dust up because they didn't have a female member, and all their sponsors were like, you need a female member. Like Cadillac and Mercedes and all these financial firms were like, we're not gonna buy commercial time if you don't have a female member. And the Masters tournament goes, okay, we'll do it ourselves. No commercials.
Having that kind of money.
Here's my question though. This venue is how old? 50 years?
Yeah.
So 50 years ago, people are like, soft drink, I'll have a soft drink, $1.
Well,
What?
maybe not 50 years, but they haven't changed it in decades. Maybe not 50 years.
I mean, so
So.
decades ago, they're like $1 for a can of
Exactly.
Dr. Pepper.
Exactly.
And the
Couple
Masters
other
probably
things
said,
about the
"Wait,
Masters. Couple other things about
4
the
decades.
Masters.
This is going to be a great deal. Just wait."
They have these azaleas that bloom this week for the Masters tournament. And if they bloom too early, they will ice the roots to keep them from blooming until this week. The ponds that you see there, they lower the ponds so they could cut the grass, and then they raise the pond so that the water comes up to the level of the grass and it's been mowed.
Wow.
They've thought of everything. If you haven't been, go. And if you're going, I'm completely jealous. But that's my crazy stat of the week.
That is pretty good.
Josh, thanks for your time. I know you had a long day. It's already been a long week for you on Monday. Jacob, thanks for producing. And guys, if you're watching this or listening to this, thank you as well. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.